change or transition in a marriage is good, but also it can be dangerous. The biggest and unaccountable thing that a couple does not do is children. Account for the growth that children bring.
And sometimes I feel like men kind of take that card of, I don't know what to do, right? Instead of being more helpful and, finding out how can I support.
Pregnancy is change. And men, we don't like change. When we get into marriage, we don't want change. Women, I saw it with you. One day you're not a mother. Next day the child is born, you have adapted, you have switched all gears, you have logged in. Fully software loaded. Me, I'm trying to look for the software. The 9 months are a journey of conversation. And realize that in the 9 months, the marriage still needs the things it needs. Pregnancy does not demote the marriage to parenting.
It does not.
Because there are marriages where intimacy dies at pregnancy, jokes die at pregnancy, communication dies at pregnancy. Yeah, the pregnancy went with the marriage. Hello, Mrs. Salamba.
Hello, Mr. Salamba.
How is your wonderful life?
Great. It's a good day and I'm happy to be here. It's another day to have fun and discuss some hot topics. And as usual, it's always a good time and never a dull moment. So
I was also waiting for that.
I'm excited.
Waiting for that punchline. We're going to trademark it. Yeah. Today we are talking about
transitions and navigating change in marriages. I don't think, we've touched quite a lot in and around it, but today we just want to narrow in and see what kind of things come up when marriages and couples are going through intense periods of change, whether good or bad. There's always that teething problem, that comes up when both of you are trying to understand each other, trying to be gentle with each other, trying to understand the new season that you're both coming into. And I think many transitions happen in marriage. They could range from, having a new child, getting a new job, loss of a parent, loss of a child, loss of money, loss of opportunities. Like there's so many transitions that, come up in marriage. And so today we just want to, look at how to navigate change in marriage. It's always going to be there. There's always going to be growth. There's always going to be a corner where you're like, it's a bit tight, but you have to fit in through that corner and you have to fit in together. So how do we navigate those tight corners? And that's what we're going to discuss today.
Because I think that change, and let's call it change in the best of words, because change is the constant, right?
Yeah.
The right, I think, philosophical word would be growth. There are times you may feel like if change comes and you miss to grow, then it becomes another beast, because change is designed to make us grow in marriage and to grow together. And I think one of the biggest threats we know in marriage is the inability for growth. Actually in itself, growth is like fire. Let me change my line of thought a bit, because growth is like fire. You see, fire is good, but also fire is bad. Water is good and water is bad. And change or transition in a marriage is good, but also it can be dangerous. And we are looking at very many facets of it, but I think in my experience dealing with couples all through the years, is that one thing that catches many couples off guard is they never, in all equations, we've talked about budgeting, people equate. We talk about friends, there's an equation for it. We talk about, I don't know what we need. All those, there are things we put equations for. One equation we never put for in marriage is the equation of growth. But also growth can kill a couple if they don't both evolve. You can't evolve alone.
Yeah, I mean,
What do you think about
already when you're in the setting of a marriage, it's like 2 for 1. So where one is growing and developing and changing in their lives, there has to be a mirror effect on the partner. The partner has to, kind of find a way, or they both have to find a way together not to leave one person behind. And growth can be the effect of growth can be positive, and it can also be very strenuous on a marriage. For instance, I look back in our marriage and remember when we had our first child, and it was very difficult. It was a difficult transition, one, because we were financially struggling.
Yes.
We were financially in the pits. And having come into this transition where there's a new person in the family, how to navigate, taking care of a newborn and still feeling connected to your partner. And then we had the additional layer of not having the financial, aptitude to do all those things.
I love the word you use. Financial aptitude. Yes.
It was hard days. It was hard days. Now we can look back and laugh a little bit, and I thank God for that. But it's in those seasons where something good has happened in the family. And, as a mother, maybe you've gone into the corner of your child focused, you're healing focused. You've just become a mother. It's a huge transition, And in that moment, I could see you trying to be there for me, but at the same time, trying to bring food on the table and at the same time dealing with the identity of who you are and how your new role can really be impactful in the marriage without finances. And I remember how difficult that was. It was a growth process for me in the fact that I've become a mother and you also have become a father. But I think that transition it almost weighs heavier on the woman because of the role, that nurturing role,
I think I'm just you said something beautiful there. You said about focus, and I think that's what basically growth does, because growth basically makes your focus change.
Yeah.
Now, where we miss each other is when I focus on what my partner is not focusing on. Let's take an example. The biggest and unaccountable thing that a couple does not do is children. Account for the growth that children bring, because children bring a rapid growth in a marriage. Because that statistically, many marriages struggle with or without money. Marriages struggle when children come.
Yes.
We know that, but based on statistics, that over 70% of couples are likely to get into fights intensify more after the second child. Infidelity is likely to happen more after the second child. Divorce is more likely after the second child. Many marriages, a lot of things happen after the second child, but because they never factored in the first part, which I think the focus, you said, you said something beautiful, that as a mother, your focus, you think that now the role is heavier on the to raise a child and everything. But I've been a father a few times. Yeah.
Yes.
And I've been through these processes a few times as a father. Yeah. And I think also there's a way also as a man sitting on there, I'm like, no, I think also there's a way men get lost. Men get lost in pregnancy. Pregnancy is an animal men don't get. And in this day and age especially, our fathers dealt with it because they were just aloof.
Yeah.
As we are now in a place where we are forced to do things that are different.
Forced.
Yeah, the word is forced.
Okay.
Yes.
Now you have my attention.
Yes. We already have 3 children. I'm safe. I'm safe.
How did you feel forced
I'm saying,
to do certain, during the pregnancy journey? I'm just trying to understand from your perspective where you would feel caged in and almost
forced. Is that many men right now would not have the luxury to say, if the wife wakes up and says, you know what, you're going to the clinic today. Many men don't have the luxury of saying, by the way, when I go to the clinic, I remember at Mata, I didn't have a problem, but I'm saying that you at Mata and we are walking and there are all these women there and all these pregnant women are there. We are walking with them there and I'm walking with you, moving from one place to another. I'm the only man seated there, Yeah. But you see, that's the thing. That men, we were never prepared for that because we never saw our dads do that. We saw our fathers pick up the parenting later on. We never saw our dads being involved that early. We never saw our fathers being put in in that position whereby, as I've said now, my dad had the option of the child is crying. He did. I don't know what to do with this child. But there was a time when my father came up and said, "Okay, now let me make him cry because he's doing his own things." So, as you're saying, it's an interesting transition for both men and women.
Yeah.
I think that's why I'm saying calculating the growth, because we both focus on different things. As you're focusing on your role as a mother, I'm thinking, okay, now my role as a father, where does it come in? I don't have breast milk. I don't have this. I'm not carrying a pregnancy. So I need to be there for you, yes.
Yeah.
But I'm also being there for you in a process I have no understanding for. Now, in the process, what happens? You are likely to maybe complain. You are likely maybe to put a demand and say, I'm not helping you enough. I'm not supporting you enough. I'm not doing that. That in itself is what? Your focus is the child. And you are judging me on what I'm doing for the child. And I'm thinking, I'm doing what I know. I have no other skill available to me. I don't know anything else. And I don't have the leeway to say, babe, by the way, I have no idea what to do. Can you hold the fort? Let me pray for you. Or I don't know what to do. Or I'm doing my very best. So you find that strain comes from there.
Yeah, I can understand that, but I also feel that, men are part of the process, part and parcel of the process. The 9-month journey, you see it, you see the aches, you see the pain, you see the weight of it all just coming, the back is aching, the feet are swollen, I have a friend who always has issues, every time she carries, like, you see the process. And sometimes I feel like men kind of take that card of, I don't know what to do, right? Instead of being more helpful and, finding out how can I support. Yes, I don't have breast milk. Yes, I don't have that, nurturing touch. But how else can I support? Because it's often that men run away from that raw season. Not a lot of men have the capacity to sit in that season and support their wives through that raw, the raw days when you've just come in from hospital, nothing is, the way it was before baby came. Everything has changed. And she's also trying to just find her footing, trying to align herself with this new season in life. But you find that some men escape during that season. They're not there, right? They're not there in the early mornings when she can't sleep. They're not there in the late nights when she's nursing, when she's trying to heal herself as well as care for the child. So in some ways, I agree with you that, it's a man does not fully understand how to handle that season. But there's basic things of, you're there,
Now,
if I need to run to the loo, literally, I can leave the baby with you.
Now that's the thing. The thing that creates that difference in the growth curve is that again, many women in pregnancy as well don't know how to also just articulate and tell this guy, okay, now understand this. You are a whole ball of walking testosterone, and I am a ball of estrogen.
Yes.
Now, this is what we are going to do. But what I need you to do is this. I just want to see you here. You cannot help but just be around. Or do something. Just let me just see. I don't want to feel abandoned.
Yeah.
There's a way it can come out that the guy knows, oh, this is my job description. But what you're saying is good in hindsight, but you find now many women in that process get resentful, but the guy does not know the script. I've started with men who tell me, I never knew how she needed me. I tried to do something and she said she doesn't want it. I tried to rub her back. She said, I don't do it. I tried to carry the child. Don't do that. So
to be fair, it's a very emotionally intense season for a new mother. It's emotionally intense. And I wish men would just understand that. I need to give a little bit more leeway. You know, when I'm snapping, I'm not snapping because I absolutely hate you. You're the worst person on earth. I'm snapping because I'm overwhelmed and I don't know how to express all this overwhelming that I'm feeling, you know? Because also, as a woman, you feel so much pressure to just be a mother. You know, oh, our aunties have done it, you know, your sisters have done it, your cousins have done it, 8-year-olds unfortunately sometimes have done it. So why am I not able as a fully grown woman to just get over this, you know? So all these things are just mixing together in a boiling pot. Your hormones are speaking, you can't even understand what is happening to you. So in that state, I feel men need to have a lot more sensitivity, a lot more patience, a lot more care in them, you know, to understand that it's not really my wife. You know, she's going through a lot. She's been through a lot. We've been through a lot together. So to extend just a little bit more grace in that season, I feel like men almost struggle with it, because when we come out, they withdraw, they hide, they run.
Because also and I'm not defending men. I mean, I'm not saying I'm the best. I've been there through every single process, and I enjoy to be there because I was conscious that when this process is done and these children grow and go, if I'm not with you through this growth curve, then when these children are grown, you will grow now with the children. You'll grow without me, and that's what happens in many cases. You find that the man gets locked out. Yeah. And at times it's not even by anything, it just gets locked out. So I was conscious of the fact that I need to grow with you. I need to mature with you. But here's the other issue. You talked about all this emotion, all these things. Now, why do men run away?
Why?
Men run away because, as you've said, you yourself as a person, you don't understand what's happening with you. You don't get what's happening to you. This man, all the equipment God gave him on earth, has no inherent capacity in him to also understand. You see?
Thank you for being honest about that.
So even he doesn't know what to understand. So now he's in a place whereby he's being snapped at and being told, you're not helping. You're not helping. And he's thinking, I don't know what to do because I don't understand the hormones. I don't understand the emotions. I don't understand the pressure. I don't understand. But I still have a pressure to be here. I have the pressure to be here, but I'm here feeling like I'm not wanted. I don't even understand what to do, because in my calculations is that if a chair is broken, you call a fundi. You get? Because men are very logical. The chair is broken, you get a fundi. Your back is paining, sit, rest, get a massage. I'm practical.
Get a massage.
Yeah, something of the sort.
Not give it.
No. I'm saying there are those who give, those who can't get. It depends. Yes. So, but I'm out thinking, what do I do? Because I'm in a situation whereby, yes, I know my wife is in need of something, but even she doesn't know what she needs. And already, even though she told me what she needed, I'd still be slightly inadequate because I have no inherent understanding of what she's going through. So my logical thing would be what? Would you think, okay, can your mother come over? Can your sister come over? No, but it's you that I need here. But I'm thinking, okay, but you don't need me still. You need me, you don't need me. You want me, you don't want me. So even though even though so it becomes a bit because they were not equipped. But let's go back a bit. And if you're talking about a marriage that has matured, you're talking about this whole articulation things. But let's go back a bit to the focus. When a couple get married, let's say a couple got married in November or December last year. They get pregnant. They discover they're pregnant March of this year. Basically by December, they should have their baby. We have got December, January, February as months of honeymoon. Today, honeymoon period. Tomorrow, morning sickness. We have gone to the childbirth. Let's talk to the couples who lost each other or the marriage died at pregnancy. Because there are marriages where intimacy dies at pregnancy, jokes die at pregnancy, communication dies at pregnancy. The pregnancy went with the marriage. Suddenly you are joking, we are laughing, we are there, we are honeymooners. Tomorrow morning, the morning sickness. Libido is down. She doesn't want to be touched. She doesn't want to need it. Libido is down. Everything is what? How do those couples operate? That's one of the changes, because that is where the rift begins. That is where the rift begins.
Actually, those are like 3 transitions in one.
Yes.
Because there's the first you were single, then you're in this courtship phase. How long were you like fiancés and getting to know each other? Then you're married. We're on the 4th transition.
Yes.
And then we're married. Yeah, we're living together. We're also managing that transition, because that's a whole other topic. Living with a man.
Yes.
I should do a special episode.
Then one be living with a woman.
I think we'll get more issues with living with a man. Hey, you say you want to get married. Do you know how to live with a man? That's a different ball game. But I would recommend. And then now you're a mother. How? That's a really interesting question. I never really thought about those couples that really, come into that space where you're a wife, you're a mother, you're a daughter-in-law, you're a career woman. You're trying to juggle all these things as well as keep the marriage afloat. I think if you don't have an honest and candid and open conversation with your partner how to navigate that season, it's going to be completely difficult. And that's where the rift starts.
Now, can I throw a spanner into the works?
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this understanding that there are people who will cheer me and those who want to ban me. But if we do a transition now, you say something very powerful. Because the thing is that as much as the woman carries the child and goes through all these sudden changes of the body and everything, there seems to be an unwritten law in marriage. And the unwritten law in marriage is this. When a woman has gotten into a season of pregnancy, the man should, by default, understand her in that season. It's a silent written law. And that, to me, from my experience in counseling, is the law that kills marriages. Because they are together. The bottom line is that as much as they are going through the thing, when I'm going through something and you're going through something, we go through it differently. I'll give one example. When my father died, my father dying, I mourned the loss of my father. When we sit with my mother, she's mourning the loss of her husband.
Yes.
But it's still a loss.
It is.
Yeah. Because a parent is different to everyone. The way that my brother mourned, my sister mourned are very different.
Yeah.
The way that you mourned my father is extremely different. But still, we are all gathered at the same funeral, all burying the same man. But everyone has a different eye view of this.
Yes.
Now, the problem becomes when I sit and I choose to undermine or to think that what my mother is going through, that mine is superior to hers. I should recognize in marriage that, I'm going about marriage now, but mine is different, not superior. The moment that we have an emotion that is superior to the other in a marriage, that's where the problems begin. I've just looked about it, I thought that time you're talking about is the first assumption is that what I'm feeling is more superior. You don't know what it feels to be 1, 2, 3, 4. But also there are things that as a man I'm going through in that time that maybe I'm thinking in my head, you don't know what I'm going through, but you think that's a small thing. You don't know what it is. But you see, that's the thing now. And that is where now we find couples begin to drift.
Can you spell out a little bit what men go through when their partner is going through that pregnancy season?
One, understand that pregnancy in its own self is change.
Huge one.
And men don't like change. So pregnancy in its own right destabilizes this man absolutely. Every man who has a wife who was pregnant has had to remind himself 98 times through the pregnancy. I chose to stay. I love this woman. I'm going to be faithful.
I'm pro-marriage.
I'm pro-marriage.
I'm going to be a good dad.
Yes. He must every day do motivational speaking.
Yeah.
Because pregnancy is change. And men, we don't like change. When we get into marriage, we don't want change. When we get into marriage, we expect that the marriage will be the same. We expect Things will remain the same. We'll dance the same music. We'll eat at the same restaurant. We'll go out the way we used to go out. You'll remain the same chick that I knew when we got married. All these things, men are resistant to change. Men don't like change. Women, I saw it with you. You know, one day you're not a mother. Next day the child is born. You have adapted. You have switched all gears. You have logged in. Fully software loaded. Me, I'm trying to look for the software manual. I'm trying to study the manual. What do we do now? What do? I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
At times the child stresses you. You give me the child. I carry the child. I've never carried a child that small. I think I'm going to break this child with my hands. I'm holding him. Then he doesn't sleep. Then you come back for him. You take him again. He sleeps. So I wonder why was I taking the child?
No, but you did well.
Yeah.
You did well.
It's the Holy Spirit. So, but think about this. That. So for us men, number one, the change is too drastic. And I find this because we did this ourselves. We had conversations within the marriage. We had conversations when our intimacy maybe was not as it should be. We had discussions. You would ask me, how are you faring on now?
Yeah.
And we'd have a discussion about it. What are you going through right now? We'd talk about it through the 9 months. We had a conversation through it. And we'd go and we'd journey and talk about it through.
Yeah.
The problem is that there's never a conversation. It's true. And that time, what made me journey with you and even be comfortable going with you to hospital, carry your handbag at the time, all those things, is because I felt that in that time you didn't, as you were changing, you didn't undermine what I felt. You didn't feel like what you are going through was superior to what I was going through. That is where the problem comes in. Is because you have not been a man. So to a man, to a woman, looks this a very small thing. But to a man, it's massive. The very foundation of the marriage is being challenged, which is change.
But
the very core, he's
were
thinking,
you not
I
expecting to have children in the marriage?
Yeah.
Why is it now
But
a surprise that
because
this
of how-
huge thing is happening and it's going to rock the marriage? I thought it's part and parcel of the package.
We never,
That you are well aware, your eyes are wide open, knowing that
we
we're
never
coming into that
factored in,
season.
we were not trained on how to manage the change. What I've done with men, young men who are getting married, what do I do when their wives are pregnant? I teach them about the change. I prepare them for the change. I tell them this will change. This will change. He's prepared for the change. You got married in December. March, she's pregnant. Morning sickness. Don't touch me. I don't want to eat. I have no appetite. She's running to puke. What's all this now? Oh, all this is a lot of chaos. Okay, now you don't want to eat any pilau. I don't want pilau. Okay, what do you want? I don't want. Change that perfume. It's a lot too many things. I don't want to sleep. There are a lot of things. Then suddenly now she's there. She can't. She's pregnant. She cannot turn in the bed. She's turning like a 28 wheeler. She's turning 28
Why is
wheeler.
this turning into hate speech? Please.
I'm saying,
You're coming up too much.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Oh my God.
What's happening? Yeah, all these things are happening. Then before this change is done, what happens? We're in the hospital.
Yeah.
She's given birth.
baby's
We've come home. Now there's milk, there's diapers, there's what? A lot of things are moving. So before, I always tell men, before the marriage gets back to where it is, when your wife gets pregnant, you must be willing to know there are 2 years of your life that are not the same. That's what the discussion many couples have.
I think 2 years is even short.
That's the bare minimum. Because
the
2
bare
years you have to be
minimum.
very deliberate to reset.
Yeah.
To reset. So
Yeah.
2 years is done. The marriage. So 2 years you finish, get another child. That's a 4 years.
It's another drift.
Another drift.
I wonder how, just thinking about it and looking at how we had our babies quite close, the first 2. And I'm trying to go back to remember how we kept our connection through those 4 years, as it were. And I'm thinking one thing that I found that was really important for me during that time was to just try and detach from the situation and look at it from, like it's not me. Like to look at it like someone who's just had this child and is in a marriage. How would I want to treat my husband? And just always remembering that it's not just me and the baby. It's me, the baby, and the one who helped create the baby. So always, keeping in the back of my mind that I'm not alone. I'm actually, you are in this process. And I think you also being present through that season helped really to keep my mind, alert that The child is here, the children are here, but you still have a marriage at the end of the day, you know? And I think sometimes couples struggle with this, like affirming each other and being in each other's space throughout those transitions. You just have to be there. You can't run away. You have to be the voice that's always saying, you know, you're doing well, you know? Oh, baby is growing. Wow, you look so beautiful today. You know, it's the little things that we can tell each other through those transitions that really help us become a part of that difficult, beautiful change. Because if you're away, if you're running, if you can't take the hormones, if you can't take all those changes, the rift in the marriage will definitely show. So I think that as a woman, yes, I need to remember that my husband is still in this space. I still need a marriage
After all, these kids will grow and go.
after terrific twos. I still need, you know, my man. I still need my marriage to function after terrific twos. So it's just being deliberate in ensuring that your husband or your wife is catered to. That attention that you gave before baby came, somehow you're still giving it in different ways. You know, it could be acts of service. Remember, those love languages, they never change. Even though the baby has come, the love languages are still there. You know, there's no harm in buying a gift. There's no harm in saying, okay, you relax, sleep for a few more hours. Let me handle the baby. Let me carry the baby. There's no harm in just keeping that connection, even when the children have come quite close.
How do we navigate a couple that is saying, okay, fine, you know, I'm raising the kids. Let's go for dinner. The kids have to eat. Let's go out for a date. The kids are doing this. Because what happens with many marriages is that, and this is the gap that happens. This is what I know I was deliberate to fight for. And I think looking at us right now, I think it yielded fruit.
Yeah.
But this is the gap that happens. As you said now, is that to remember there's a marriage after this. Not that I still need my spouse after this.
Yeah.
And the children grow and go. Because in essence, a marriage should be able to begin to press reset quickly.
Yeah.
You know, as quickly as possible. They are still talking, they're doing the same things. The wife to remember that by then my husband is still there. Again, remember there's a change that happens. Once the woman also, you go and you give birth and everything. Also, you question your own sexuality.
Exactly.
You question how beautiful you are. You question if you're still attractive. You question all those things. All these are huge changes. Even mentally, the man knows that my wife has shifted mentally. She's also questioning if she's still attractive. And at times, the safe thing to do is to say, I'm nursing the child. At times the safe thing is, let me nurse the child, because if I did, because I also don't want to see myself right now the way that I look right now. I don't like the way that I look right now, and I don't think you will like it. So I'd rather say the child has refused to sleep, or the child wants to be changed. I'd rather be busy with the children and hope miraculously this phase passes. The problem is that now, as you said now, the conversation that now should happen with the couple is the decision throughout the marriage. There are a few decisions that I think I'm not the best husband out there, but for you I am.
Yes, you are.
But some of the choices that I made as a man, number one is that I was part of the process of making this baby. So I'll be part of the process all through. Number two process that I had to make up in my mind was this, is that no matter what changes you go through physically, is that you are the woman that has paid the price to carry my children.
Amen.
Yeah. And I said, my mind will stay there all through. But you're the one who has paid the price. And I won't look at you and think that, oh, now she's changed so much. But no. You have paid the price to carry my children. And that made a constant in my head. That I did not see, consciously see this change has grown, this thing has come. I don't think that I was able to, I could not see it even though I wanted to see. Because I already set in my mind. Now, the thing that also was important is to realize that after all is said and done, the marriage must continue. The marriage must continue. And I have to ensure that I am there when the marriage continues. Now, the problem comes about when this change happens is that when the woman finishes the child-bearing season, she comes back to the marriage, and the man left. Because when he was telling her, let's go for a date, the kids have Junior Jakula.
Her whole world
Was the
became
kids,
that
yeah.
baby.
And the guy would come home in the evening, and this is a very bad thing. The guy comes home in the evening, the child is being carried, the child is being hugged and kissed and smothered, literally smothered. And the guy comes after last time Ali Hagiwa is when they were doing their vows. From there, it's been absolute. That now, what time the man goes through rejection and he leaves. And the woman, the rejection that the guy gets, because a man's relationship to his wife in a marriage is the relationship that this is his wife.
Yeah.
A man doesn't relate with his wife that this is the mother of my children. No. Number one, that
His first.
second thought.
Yes.
She's my friend, number one. Number two, that she's my wife. That's where I connect with you from. So when I come home, I'm expecting to find my wife. Now, if my wife tells me, by the way, let's put the baby to sleep together, then we can talk and laugh. I'm like, okay, fine. I have something at the end of it. I don't feel like I'm missing out on something. But it looks like people are building, because children are one of the most huge changes. And if you have them back to back, it's one thing. Number two, also, there's a lot to unpack here. I think this show will have part 1, 2, and 3. Because it's another part of the absence of children as well.
Oh, also.
Yeah, that's also another transition that brings a change. As time goes by, the desperation to get a child increases. And at times the couple drifts apart also. We have not talked about, of course, other things that happen in between. Loss, I talked about the loss of parents, all those things. But I think in pregnancy, the 9 months are a journey of conversation. And realize that in the 9 months, the marriage still needs the things it needs. Pregnancy does not demote the marriage to parenting.
It does not. It actually does not. I remember one thing I used to remind myself was that I'm not sick. I'm just pregnant.
Okay.
I can cook. I can clean. I can do whatever it was I was doing before I got pregnant. I'm not a sick person. I mean, of course, there's those women who are having challenges, very difficult pregnancies, and that's a whole different scenario.
Yeah.
But then you're healthy. You're just the channel through which God is using to bring forth a new person into the world. So there's no excuse. I still have to enjoy my marriage. I still have to be pleasant through my marriage. I still have to do the things that I enjoy to sustain the love and the friendship and the joy that is in the marriage. And sorry to say, women, sometimes we use our pregnancies as a weapon, to behave the way we want to behave, to say the things we want to say, to just be unhinged. And I think it doesn't help the marriage, it doesn't help the couple when one of the partners is feeling like you were saying before, that, I'm the one who's carrying, I'm the one who's going through all this, so the whole world should bow down and, accommodate me. As a pregnant woman, I'm a pregnant woman, and that should be it. I'm not looking for attention where I should not be getting attention. I'm not demanding that my husband do the things that I need him to do. I still am expected to be a wife. In as much as I'm running into this transition of being a parent, I'm still a wife at the end of the day. I'm still a daughter-in-law. I can't just call my mother-in-law and tell her because I'm pregnant, So I kind of feel like in that season, the onus is on both partners to manage that transition, to be aware that after that transition is done and dusted, I'm still a wife. I'm a mother, yes, but I'm still a wife. I'm still a person who is expected to make her marriage flourish, to do her part to make it flourish. But what about those scenarios where, a woman is pregnant, but the husband is just not there? Maybe they've traveled, and now for that amount of time. So he's coming back when the wife is just about to have a child. How do you manage that transition? Because you have not been there in the 9 months, right? To see her go through all those stages. Speaking on the phone, we've lived that.
Oh, yeah.
And talking on the internet is quite different from physically being in the same space with your partner. So how do people who are doing long distance manage those transitions, especially as a man?
You have to be willing to always relearn. Because when you are, and that's the danger of long distance.
Like this learning just never ends in marriage. It's
it continues until death do us part. But I'm thinking, when you're together like this, I have one responsibility to learn.
Yeah.
When we are apart and I appear for 3 months, I have 2 jobs. One, to relearn.
Wow.
Then to learn. Yeah. To relearn is to capture, to look at the person I found now, understand her journey from then to now.
Understand they're not the same person.
They are not the same person. I have to relearn.
Yeah.
When I finish relearning, then now I learn. Then when I learn, I go. I try apply what I've learned. When I come back again, I relearn.
Yes.
Because also your spouse has the same job to relearn you also. Because there's a way that marriage is dangerous in terms of culture. We know that marriage is dangerous, and the marriage loves culture. Marriage enjoys culture. And one thing that even couples forget is that everything in marriage is a culture. Touching is a culture. Laughing is a culture. Talking is a culture. Marriage is so built on culture, because remember, it's the bedrock of it's the bedrock of the family.
Yeah.
So you find that if a couple goes 9 months to start the pregnancy, let's say that the pregnancy, they have their intimate ones. That's culture.
It sets in. Once it sets in, it's so difficult
that one is
to
work.
overhaul it.
Yeah, that one, it becomes difficult. And the danger of life is this. Life is very funny. Because you find that, it's not a very good thing, but life is very funny. Because you find that everything in marriage is culture. So if you have the culture of you're going through something, I'm not there, then it means that I have a culture of working with you, not in my head. And it becomes difficult to make decisions with you in mind. You're not talking about changes about even careers,
Yeah.
When someone comes home and says, I want to do my master's and I'll be going for evening class for the next 2 years. There's an impact it has on the marriage. There's an impact it has on the
Or I want to
intimacy.
quit my job and follow my dream.
Follow my dream. There's an impact it has on the marriage. Everything we do has a change.
Yeah.
If I wake up in the morning and say, I want to go to the gym every morning, I want to go to the gym every evening, there is something that it does in the marriage. I'm changing. But my focus is what? My fitness. My focus is not the marriage. Then the fitness has to find a way in. My focus is I need to be physically fit. I want to have a 6-pack. For whom? I should be thinking about my marriage. How does this activity benefit my marriage? The mistake we make is that we make decisions and we forget that marriage is built on culture. So because now I've decided I want to go do my master's, I've not told you about it. I've not discussed with you. I've paid for it. I'm doing evening classes. What will stop you from doing the same? You will do the same. Naturally, human beings are vengeful. Yeah. We always like to calculate. They did this to me. Every choice we make, whenever think that this choice hurts the marriage. Now the point is that we always think that it's me going through it. No, it's us.
We never look at the us or look how it's impacting upon the other person or the marriage itself.
Or the marriage. Remember when we got married all through, I've been in ministry all through. But remember when the Lord gave me the instruction to begin the Friday classes. And Friday was our date night. My focus shifted to the Bible class.
1,000%.
No, actually 10,000.
10,000%.
10,000.
You're proud of that.
10,000.
I'm proud also.
Yeah, 10,000.
I can't even fight it. It's okay.
Yeah. 10,000. Just that now I have known how to include everything in the 10,000%. But remember, that was a transition. It was a growth.
Transition.
I was pursuing a dream that the Lord had given me. I was being obedient to God. Yes, I was being obedient. But the next thing I should have sat down is to think, what's the impact that this will have in the marriage? And it had its impact.
It did.
That's the part that people don't know. It had its impact. It brought its own difficulties in our marriage at that time. And you see, what happened is that, we will talk about this, of course, in a different show. But you see, I'm choosing to make this choice. How does this choice impact the marriage? Am I doing this with the marriage in mind? That's what happens. So even when I'm saying, I want to go study, or I want to get a job in Europe, or I want to do this, how does this affect the marriage? I've seen men who have begun to build houses, and the purpose of building houses, they got stressed and an affair came up. but they were building a house for who? You see?
The marriage.
Yeah. So there was no discussion about what is the impact of we are building a house. We are going to go through financial strain. How do you navigate strain? How do you navigate this stress? Yeah. Fine. We want to get children this year. Okay, fine. But how will this affect us down the road? We want to get children next year. How does it affect us down the road? I want to go to the gym. Yeah. I told married couples, I want to fast and pray. How does this affect the marriage? Because I'm growing spiritually, I'm growing physically, I'm getting to be more fit. How does this affect the marriage? If you're going to the gym alone and becoming physically fit and you want to run a marathon, and me, I'm here eating pork every day, pork belly.
Too extreme.
Yeah, inevitably I'll begin to become insecure.
Yeah.
When I see you saying that we and the gym members are going to Naivasha for a hike, then I look at the gym instructor. Looks like all the weight he lost, I found it.
Divine exchange.
It was a divine exchange, you see. Or I see I'm going. So you find that their lives are so all these things. What does it impact the marriage? I think that's the conversation that couples need to have. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important to think first how any decision that you make. It's interesting when you're married. Like, it's like you're always looking at what's the ripple effect on the home? What's the ripple effect on the children? What's the ripple effect on the marriage? Like, once you make that commitment, it's no longer just yourself. It's like a whole ecosystem that is impacted by just one small change. And I think, when you're getting married, it's good for you to just be aware that you're coming into a transition that is monumental, that is going to impact so many things, yourself included. And I feel like maybe women might be impacted a bit more because there's so many things that maybe I'd want to do, but I cannot just do because I have to think of the family. Like when we talk about careers, we've had this conversation before. Like, if I get a job opportunity to work in Afghanistan, will I just get up and go? That change, that opportunity that comes, it's more difficult or more intensive when a woman takes those decisions than when a man does. Can we talk about that a little bit? Those changes that are good, but impact the marriage differently because one is a woman and the other one is a man.
I think the very core to look at everything is that I like to look at marriage, everything in marriage from the point that it's not difficult for one than the other. I look at that it's different for one to the other. I always like that because if I prefer put that it's different, then my mind kind of relaxes and sees possibility. If I look like it's more heavier for me as a man to because I'm a man, I'm paying bills, it's more heavier, it's way. I think it kind of creates room to think that there's a form, and marriage shouldn't have that form of bias. Marriage should have the form that we are both winning. We are both winning. But how does the family win better? Does the family win better with me raising the kids or with my wife raising the kids? Does the family win better with, that's how it's supposed to be. Is how do we win better? I think when a marriage begins to discuss how do we win better, I think it kind of removes the whole battle of it's different for us, because when those things enter into a marriage, it changes the atmosphere now, because everyone will defend based on their point of reference.
Yeah.
I have never been a woman before. I'll always defend my point of reference as a man.
Yeah.
And you'll always defend your point of reference. But I think this discussion is good. I think part 2 of this conversation, we should pick that up.
We should pick it up.
Yes.
Opening up a can of
Bananas.
wonders.
Yes.
So thank you for joining us today. I think we've learned quite a lot, and I'm excited to
do part 2.
do part 2.
Yeah, this one will have to be continued.
Yeah.
Yes. So like, subscribe.
And make your comments down below. It's been a pleasure spending this good time with you, and we hope to see you next time on Marriage Kindergarten, the ABCs of
Making it work. I'm Victor Salamba.
And I'm Salamba. See you later.